You and I. That's all that matters.
Get fucked. I am nothing like you. You were already the most powerful person on Earth, and you were a lonely, miserable piece of fucking shit. Throwing tantrums when you didn't get what you want. Why the fuck would more power make you any better? It's just gonna make you an even more lonely, miserable piece of shit.
I'm really speechless after watching the finale of The Boys because, I mean, obviously it was terrible, but I don't understand how people enjoy this or how this got so popular or how people are even defending this somehow. Like, I understand that the premise of the TV show is interesting at least, but the execution is just so horrible that it should not even be taken seriously. And it's pretty clear by the ending of the finale that the main point of this show was to seethe about Trump, and in the process parrot every single radical leftist talking point that probably exists, because they didn't really miss anything in this show. But long story short, this finale was a cesspool of garbage. It was totally fitting for this entire show. It was a combination of the worst things a show could be. It was boring, it was distasteful, unsatisfying, just straight up terrible. I could 100% write a better TV show than this, and the show didn't have a single redeeming quality about it. Watching an hour straight of this garbage was pure torture, so please drop a like and sub because I almost didn't want to make this video because I was so demoralized after watching it. I even put cheery music in the background so it can lighten your mood while I talk about this deplorable show. So let me go through the story so I can show you how bad this finale actually got. So I didn't really watch the episodes after episode 3 in season 5 because obviously I was so sick of the show, so I was just tuned out. But it turns out that in one of these episodes, Frenchie died, so they have a funeral for Frenchie that's supposed to be sad, but they somehow make it weird anyways with the same unfunny, cringe sexual jokes. And I'm gonna show you the exact scene that I'm talking about because you guys have to suffer through these scenes like I did when I watched it. Some things just can't be explained with words.
Though I have no worldly possessions to bequeath. But as I compose this letter on cardstock smuggled into the Freedom Camp, within the anus of a rotund guard with colitis named Bert, I am reminded that I do have something to give you. The knowledge that I have seen each and every one of your assholes.
Excuse me?
It says what it says. Butcher, I installed the toilet cam once purely for science. Long story, and inadvertently captured yours. Huey and MM, as we were bent over and searched for contraband in the camp, Annie, I accidentally walked in on you and Huey plumbing each other's depths, but you did not notice me. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
Yeah, if that's a good idea.
Some refer to it as a mud dungeon chestnut balloon knot. Okay. All right, he drew sketches. This is mostly asshole related, but okay, yeah, I think he's getting to his point.
But yeah, after that cringe, the office humor, the scene shifts to Homelander visiting Ryan, and Homelander's trying to connect with his son, but Ryan is not receptive to it at all. The whole scene is obviously just a cringe self-insert rant directed at Trump, because all Ryan rants about is how he isn't actually powerful, he's weak on the inside, yada yada. You get the point. So yeah, after that scene, it shifts back to the funeral where Starlight and Marie, the Gen V girl, are having a very boring conversation. It's so annoying that they keep trying to connect the Gen V universe and the Boys one, because I remember trying to watch Gen V a couple years ago and it was just so terrible that I couldn't even get through the first season, and yet they're trying to make it so that if you don't watch the entirety of Gen V, you're gonna miss essential plot points that are vital to the ending of the Boys, which is just incredibly stupid and inconsiderate. So after that, we get to listen to the weird couple that's Christian nationalists, and they're having a conversation that nobody cares about. Meanwhile, the Boys make a plan to sneak into the White House to attack Homelander, which honestly didn't really seem like a great plan, but I was checked out, so I didn't really care to think about the plausibility of it all. And I learned through some internet research after watching the episode that Kimiko was infected with this radiation that that gave her the ability to strip the powers from any suit that she blasted with her newfound powers. So yeah, that was the secret weapon that they were planning on using once they got into the White House. The scene then shifts to the pastor guy and Homelander talking to each other, and the Deep joins in on the conversation, and they talk about the Crusades, and they keep quoting scripture. It's just beyond annoying and played out. I mean, the writers are obviously daydreaming at the idea of being revolutionary crusaders against the evil Christian nationalism, because after that scene they cut back to the boys breaking into the White House and they try to make them look cool while doing it. I mean, this show is 100% Trump derangement syndrome, the horseshoe effect, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's the only explanation I can think of as to why they keep trying to paint Christianity in such a negative light. It's just very cringe and lacking in self-awareness too. I know they try to hide behind the fact that they're just criticizing hypocritical Christianity, but you'd have to be an idiot to believe that they actually care about Christianity in any way. The producers are literally Jewish. The creators of this show just despise Trump and anything that's remotely adjacent to conservative values, so they just spend the entire show tearing down anything associated with that, which includes Christianity. And I've already shown that they disrespected Christianity in multiple scenes where there's no hypocrisy or no scandal, so they've always just been doing this out of spite. Nobody better be defending this. So after that, the boys sneak into the White House and the redhead girl saves them from some trap. They then run into the preacher dude who starts attacking them, and then they get into a fight. Meanwhile, Homelander declares himself as God on live television. In another room in the White House, Starlight and the Deep are fighting, and Starlight flies the Deep to this random island, and then there she pushes the Deep into the ocean where he gets killed by an octopus. They never really explain why this happens, and it literally doesn't make any sense why she would do this since his power is the ocean, but they don't ever explain it, so I don't really care. Back at the White House, Homelander gets interrupted by Butcher and Kimiko, and they get into a huge fight. And mind you, this is supposed to be the fight for the finale. So Butcher and Homelander are fighting with their powers, as you would expect, and obviously the boy's secret weapon, Kimiko, is supposed to blast Homelander with her new powers, but apparently she can't actually do it because she randomly thinks of Frenchie and she gets all sad, but she ends up mustering the power to blast Homelander with the heckin' power of friendship and happiness. Unironically, she gets a vision from Frenchie telling her that she can't do the blast when she has rage or sadness in her heart. He instead encourages her to use her powers from a place of happiness and friendship, and if you watch the entire scene, you'll know how cringy it was because they just had some somber, inspirational music playing in the background while they were fighting in slow motion while she was mustering up the happiness to blast Homelander. It's so comical that this is a real scene in the defining battle of the finale. The show is such a joke, man. So Kimiko finally blasts Homelander with her radiation blast that takes away the powers of every soup in the room, including Butcher and Ryan, who I forgot to mention was also there. Homelander tries to retreat by flying away, but he realizes that he doesn't have his powers anymore, and this is the moment where they start the humiliation scene where they just debase him and try to make him look as terrible as possible, obviously because he's an allegory to you-know-who. And the writers thought it would be so funny and satisfying to have Homelander act like a total wimp without his powers. Butcher takes advantage of this and beats up Homelander with a crowbar, and in response, Homelander starts begging for his life in the most humiliating way that you can think of. I just know that the writers were getting drunk off of this scene because I know how much the writers hated how many people unironically liked Homelander when he was supposed to be the fascist, sensitive, incredibly weak on the inside villain of the story. If this show even had an ounce of creativity or quality, they would have had Homelander beat everyone and conquer the earth, but I already knew that there was no chance that that was gonna happen. The fight was very anticlimactic. They just wanted to spite Homelander and humiliate him. They clearly didn't care about creating a satisfying conclusion. I mean, they killed him off in the most embarrassing and emasculating way possible. It was very distasteful and just disgusting to watch. And I know that there's gonna be people saying that, oh, that's the whole point of Homelander's character. He's supposed to act strong, but he's actually weak. That's the whole point. Well, first of all, they nerfed the hell out of him in that fight because he took on Soldier Boy and Juiced Up up Butcher, and he got away easily, so that doesn't make sense in the first place. And then on top of that, dude, I can complain about what the writers choose to make as the story. I don't know why people act like whatever the writers pick is set in stone and it could never be anything different. The whole point of what I'm saying is that the writers did not have to humiliate Homelander in that way. Just because he's supposed to be weak on the inside doesn't mean he has to be embarrassed like that. Butcher and Homelander had mutual respect before the encounter, so it's perfectly plausible that there could have been a different ending than what happened, and the different ending would have been the better one. But yeah, they totally disrespected the only character in the show with a little bit of Chud aura, which is a fitting ending to this terrible series now that I think about it. So after Homelander gets killed on live television, Butcher decides to deploy the deadly soup virus that'll kill every single soup inside the Vought building. Huey finds Butcher inside the Vought building and he tries to convince him to not deploy the virus, and they get into a fight where they're both trying to stop each other, and it's a really goofy looking fight. And it's also pretty stupid logically, because the whole reason that Butcher loses the fight is because he sees Huey down on the ground and he sees him as his younger brother that killed himself, so he feels guilty for killing Huey, so that's his downfall essentially. But Huey gets a hold of his gun and he shoots Butcher once Butcher refuses to not deploy the virus, and it's supposed to be an emotional, sentimental scene, but this show just could not make me care about anything. So yeah, after Butcher's death, everyone lives happily ever after. Everything that you would expect to happen in a conclusion, it probably happened. They hold a funeral for Butcher after the fact, and 50% of the time they're just talking down to him. So I mean, Butcher can't even catch a break when he dies, but I mean, that's the nature of this show. You can't expect anything different than this. But yeah, that's how this TV show ended in all of its entirety, from season 1 all the way to season 5. This was the definitive ending. I mean, honestly, I'm just glad this show is over. It really didn't deserve all the praise and attention that it was getting. There was definitely many shows that were way better than this, but I don't know, I guess just because it's superhero themed that's enough to make people like it, or I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, the show is just so shallow. It has no real substance. I mean, 90% of the show is just innuendos and virtue signaling, and also shock value scenes. There's a hell of a lot of those. So I mean, I don't really know what else to say, except if you think this show is good, your standards are in the mud. Person of Interest absolutely wipes this series. So if you made it to the end, this is your reward to go watch Person of Interest. I guarantee you it's 100 times more worth your time than this garbage. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.